I had a lot of people in my family affected by cancer, and that really gives a heart to the cause. It makes you want to really work hard at something. You'll notice a lot of people in cancer research have been affected by it personally. I worked a lot at the hospital and I was around a lot of doctors, and what I realized about myself was that I really loved the research behind it.
I started out as a California beach bum. I grew up on the beach in Los Angeles. My training is in mathematics and ultimately statistics, and I became very interested in sort of clinical trials and discovered that I really found the issues in real clinical trials at least as interesting as some of the theoretical issues as to how to analyze them.
They pretty much ingrain in us really early on that we need to collaborate with each other. I have 5 different group projects going on right now. The cool thing about London and Queen Mary is most of the students here are international. We have people from Greece, Mexico, Spain, Jordan. You learn cross-cultural communication. All of us as well come from different backgrounds. You know, I did nutritional science and chemistry. I'm working with people who are already doctors, pharmacists, maybe someone who did biochemistry. So it's kind of cool because we can all put our own perspective on things.
So you've seen tissue under the microscope, but maybe you'd like to see where we get that from, okay?
It's very soft, and then that is very stiff, yeah?
Yeah, you can feel the difference, can't
It's
you?
way stiff.
And you see it's quite easy to distinguish from the surrounding tissue. It's very pale. It actually feels very firm. So when I run my finger across here, you can feel when you get onto the tumour. And it's interesting to think that, you know, this is about 25 millimetres. If you can't feel a 25 millimetre tumour, how big does that tumour have to get before we feel it? And the bigger it gets, the worse the prognosis, the more likelihood it spread. So that's the whole point about picking it up earlier.
Breast cancer is the epidemic of our century in terms of cancer, 1.6 million cases a year and rapidly rising. People think of cancer as disease that you get, but everything we know from epidemiology is that cancer is a process. It starts 30 years before you've actually got the cancer. There are genetic changes going on within cells, and you typically need 4 or 5 of these before you get cancer. So this is accumulating over a period of time. And one of the exciting biological aspects of prevention is to understand these early changes and to fix them before they become cancer. Imagination and creativity is sort of fundamental to science. And what science does is develop methodology for taking new and imaginative ideas and determining which ones are true.
What's different from America, it's only a year. And in America, you have to do 2 years. So it's nice that you can get an entire master's done in 1 year, and then you can focus on doing more research, doing a PhD, going back to medical school if you want. So you have your first 8 months, which is kind of getting everyone on the same basis. You want to know your basic cancer biology, pathology, pharmacology. So it's a lot of lectures, but it's also demonstrations. You do a lot of hands-on lab work. And what's really great about that is you have specific tutors coming in and these world-renowned scientists and research coming in, and they're the ones who are teaching you. A lot of the professors here and the lecturers are a lot more down to earth. They're almost humble in a way, and you feel like you can ask them anything. You know, here you call your professors by their first name. So it's just, you feel really comfortable. Whereas in America, I feel like there's kind of a bigger divide between you and a professor.
The building behind me here is a perfect example of how London is such a mix of old and new. It's the old lockkeeper's cottage, the lockkeeper's gate. The access to old texts and, you know, authentic original texts here is unmatched. Having access to the archives here is going to be crucial for my dissertation, which in turn I hope will lead to gain acceptance to a PhD program. I really want to go on and get my doctorate. Ultimately, I would love to be a professor at a university. I'm not sure if that's here or if that's in the States, just because my interests are so cross-cultural.
I think it's really important primarily to pick a program that is what you want, what is in your interests. You have to solve problems, but you have to solve problems in ways that no one else has done it before. You can't have a small focus. You have to think way outside of the box and come at it from different angles.
Innovation really arises by sitting on the border between two different subjects. If you really want to do something different, find a boundary between two subjects, and the one I'm between is between mathematics and medicine. But there are many other areas where innovation and new ideas come from bringing in ideas from different areas and synthesizing them in a new way.